Hey, what's going on, YouTube world? Kyle Lewis, Kyle Louie here. Yes, I'm here. I'm back. I'm sorry. I haven't uploaded in a long time. Uh, about a month or so, I would say. So I do apologize if you're looking to tune into my uploads, and if you've hit the notification bell thing so you can see every upload. I'm sorry. Um, there's some time there that I just needed to um, reevaluate some things and just get adjusted to the new job, which I have. I mean, every day there's always something new and something to learn, and I'm all for that. Um, but yeah, I have felt like, and I've said this before. I feel like this channel can reach more people in the sense of there's so many people out there that could use some encouragement. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. Um, that's just not what I'm about. What I am about is sharing things that I've experienced, good, bad, a little bit of ugly, and I've been able to get through it. And um, I merely leave suggestions, um, but you could take it however you will, and that's totally up to you. But I just feel like there are so many others out there that are hurting and could use some encouragement. Um, and those of you that are tuning into the channel, I feel like, if possible, if you could share. I'm not doing this for money or anything like that. I started YouTube so I can keep my mind afloat and to not be um, subjected to depression when the pandemic hit. I felt like I could do something, and I knew it was going to be a long shot. Um, YouTube is great. Um, I know there are a lot of things here on YouTube that shouldn't be on YouTube, but I'm not, you know, um, I merely try to be indifferent because I want to be. I want to be. Uh, um, I want you to see me as an example in the sense that whatever you may be going through. I mean, I may not. I mean, I don't know what you're going through, but maybe one of these topics is exactly what you're going through at the moment, and you could take some words of wisdom from me and kind of roll with it, but there's been some time where I have felt like it's not enough. It's not good enough. It's not flashy enough. It's not you know um, of the times. We live in a society now that everything is so glamorized, um, or need to be glamorized, in order for you know things to sell and have a good time. Um, but I merely do this because I want to help people. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. I'm just merely someone who, or not merely, no, I am seriously um, someone who does his best to care, um, because I would go through things and deal with things on my own, I didn't want anybody else to be involved. So I would keep all that stuff in me, and it would just make me physically sick, mentally sick, and somewhat spiritually sick. Um, but I'm grateful in knowing that Jesus is here, and I want to exemplify that on here as much as I can. Um, but I get it. So I probably won't be uploading as much as I have in the past. Maybe periodically, just every once in a while, um, just so I can get something off my chest, whatever it may be. Um, I still want to do. I've been talking about it for months, um, about donating some money to a charity, um, and I want to do that. It's going to take some time, but I'm waiting on a little bit of money, um, so I could do that. Um, I said I wanted to give it for Christmas. I said I wanted to give it for the end of the year. I wanted to give it for my birthday, and it didn't happen. So I haven't held up to my end of the bargain, so to speak. But um, when I do it, I want to make sure it's of the right reasons, and that I have the ability to do it. So that'll happen soon. Um, Not sure exactly when, but soon. Um, anyways, besides that, I don't want to take too much time here. Something that I would really like to do with you guys, and you guys can take it however you want. I knew Mountain Dew. It's raspberry lemonade. It's not bad. Um, how do I put this? I ordered a devotional book a couple months ago, because I want my uncle and I to continue on with just bonding in that sense, and sharing words of wisdom, and prayer, and just be encouraging to one another. And I thought maybe I could do that on here too. Um, and yes, it's directed towards men, but um, really it's more, it's just in general. Devotion is important, especially when you go about your day. Sometimes um, you just get so caught up with everything else that you forget to just stop and pray, or at least I do. Um, and these devotions, it kind of reminds me of what my dad and I used to do when he was here, when he was alive. Up until the year that he passed, we were like, once a week, we were just meeting up, and after dinner, we would do devotions. We would talk about whatever was going on in that devotion, and then we would kind of apply it to our day and see how we can do better and learn. And it was cool. It was cool. And since I don't have him anymore, I do it with my Uncle Dwayne. Um, and I want to do it with my brother too, but this could be a way for him to tune in and check it out. Um, but some of this stuff is really, really cool. Or no, all of this stuff is really cool. Sorry. And like I said, you guys can take it however you will. Um, I just thought it would be fun, and if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to watch. But I definitely think this is pretty important for just growth in general, not spiritual growth. Yes, partly, but more importantly, just growth in general, because it's just reflection. You know. I got these too for a little snack. You ever had these? They're so good. All right. Let's see. I'm going to find a good one here. I understand that those of you that are watching may not believe in the same things that I believe in, and that's okay. Or some of you are trying, and this could be good. Or maybe you're just really hurting, and you're angry with God, and I think a lot of these devotions will touch up on that, and maybe awaken something in you. What am I? Yeah, awaken, not awoken. I don't know. But so this one is titled "Light for Your Path," and I'll talk about it in a second here after I read all this. But kind of in light to I did a message 2 weeks ago at church, a sermon, and I talked about Jesus being the light of our path, and it's really, really cool. So this might touch up on a lot of that, or not. We'll see. I haven't read this, so it starts off with a verse, and it's from Proverbs 4:18, and it says this: "The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day." And then here's a little devotion on it, all right? Your way may seem unclear at times, but if you stay close to God, living in the living in His presence, you'll, let me start over, I'm sorry. Your way may seem unclear at times, but if you stay close to God, living in His presence, you'll share in His Spirit and His holiness. You may not feel all that enlightened or righteous much of the time, but as long as you're seeking the Lord and doing your best to obey Him, He will hear your prayers, guide you, and protect you. Then slowly but surely, just as the initial glow in the sky at dawn gives way to the full light of day, the sun will rise and God's blessing will be made manifest in your life. It may take a while, and you may have to walk cautiously at first, feeling your way in the semi-darkness. But God has promised to be with you, so He will be. The Bible says that Jesus, God's Son, is the true light which gives light to every man coming into the world. Walk in His truth, and you won't be in darkness. Now, something my dad and I would do, and something me and my uncle Dwayne now do with these devotions, and like I said before, my dad and I, we would talk about that devotion, and we would try to implement it or apply it to whatever we were dealing with that day, so to speak, whether it was work or school or life or whatever it may have been. We would just find a way for the devotion to connect. And basically, what it's saying here to me is there's a lot of the times where we go at life on our own, and there's darkness, there's struggle, there's all kinds of stuff, um, when we take our eyes and our heart, if we don't fully trust and know that God is with us, we struggle a whole lot more. And I'm living proof of that. See, like, what I mean by that is I know the difference when, or I have felt the experience with having God with me and not with me. And let me tell you, it's far worse than it is with God. With God, you have a chance. With God, He is of comfort. He is of love. And He will be right there. You just have to ask Him to come into your life. And you got to hold on. You just got to follow. You got to listen. But yeah, when it seems unclear, like when things are just going astray, stay close to God. And you can do that with prayer. You can do that with the Bible. You can do that with going to church. You could do that to talking with a friend who goes to church, or whatever it may be. Um, but that's not what it's all about. It's about your personal relationship with Jesus and how you're going to make it through all that stuff. He is our guiding light. There has been times where I've been lost, and I've talked a lot about bullying and stuff on here, and depression and suicide, because we do try to deal with things on our own, and we think we can, but we can't. Um, God is the source for all love and all lightness and all lightness. Um, and when they brought up the initial, the glow of the sun and stuff like that, that God created that. God created that for us to look up and remind ourselves that God created it, and that He also created us, and that He created you. You may not believe it, but I believe He gave you life, and He molded you into who you were supposed to be. Um, and the only way we're going to understand our struggles and why we're going through these things is sometimes just to stop, listen, and let God do His work. There's a saying that my grandma once said to me, and it's crazy because I had a different occurrence. I call it a godly sighting, but my grandma used to say, Grandma Lewis, when she was dying of breast cancer, um, and she was well into her faith, and knew where she was going, so she wasn't worried, at all. And she brought it to our attention that she just wanted to be off of chemo, and she just wanted to live as much as she could and be happy. And um, she told me that, you got to go through the bad to get to the good. And whether or not you, yeah, she just said, you got to go through the bad to get to the good. I've been through the bad, but I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to be in the good. And she said that to me in the sense of basically not giving up. If you take it in that context, it's very much like that. Just not give up, to have faith and know that things will get better. And the struggles and the pain and stuff are only temporary. So when I was 14, um, I went to a bridge, um, Minnesota, where I grew up, and it was one of the main bridges. And I was just really so the bullying had stopped, but I had kept it in my head for a long time. I had kept it from my parents and telling my family because I didn't want it to be all about me, since we were going through all that with grandma, grandpa, and all that stuff. So I didn't want to be selfish in that sense. So I kept it to myself of the bullying, and then it just started my body, my mind, my just everything. I just started to just deteriorate in a sense, like I just really started pulling away from happiness. And in eighth grade, when I had grown up and I got a little bit taller, I said to myself, I'm not going to allow anybody else to go through the pain that I went through, to be bullied and all that stuff. I'm going to stick up for the kids, and I did. There's a few occasions that I did that. Um, but it wasn't till my freshman year in high school, 14, where it kind of came back to me again because it started all over with the bullying and stuff like that. Um, and it really affected me. I thought, the phrase "sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." I kept saying that, and I kept kind of just turning my cheek and just walking away and not letting it get to me. But it did. It all ultimately does. And I went to a bridge, and I was like, you know what? I know you're there, God. I know you're there. I go to church faithfully. I do whatever I can to implement that. I do believe that you're real and everything that is said about you, and of course I know of your son and what he did for me, but right now I'm at a low, and a very big low, to where I don't want to be here anymore, and I want to know your truth. I want to know that you're there, and I just need that proof. Um, and God spoke to me, and I know that may sound crazy, and until it happens to you, or if it happened to you, that's great. But if it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it won't. God speaks to us in different ways. We just got to be willing to be patient and listen. And when He says something, we got to answer. We got to go for it. But He said pretty much the same thing my grandma said. You know, He said, life isn't easy. It's not made to be easy, because then you would never learn. But He did say to me, if you walk along this path with me, and if you allow me to lead you, you won't be hurting as much as you did before, because I'll be right there with you in your pain, in the midst of your pain and hurt. And then he really said, you do got to go through the bad to get to the good, and I promise it's all fulfilling in the end. You just got to keep going, and and so that's where I came up with that motto of keeping the faith, no matter what. Just keep the faith, no matter what I'm going through, whatever the situation is, or I am in. Just keep the faith. God's in control. So it's the same thing with this. We gotta really look to God and know that He is there, because He is, and He is the light in our darkness. I promise you, if if you are at your lowest right now, just stop what you're doing, take a second, take a deep breath, and just talk to God. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can talk out loud or however you want to do it, but He just wants a relationship with you, and it starts with you inviting Him into your heart and into your life, and just letting Him know what's going on. And He already knows. That's the thing that people misconcept sometimes is, you know he hears you and he understands. He knows what you're going through, but he wants to be invited. He wants to be invited into your life. He's not going to force himself into your life because that's how the devil works, right? And it's all negative. It's all evil. God doesn't work like that. He works of love. And yes, of course, he gives us these things to follow, like the 10 Commandments and things, and going to church and stuff like that. But really, it's about your personal relationship with Jesus and communicating with him and letting him in. And um, I'm living proof that he's right there. He's been with me since my dad passed. And I could have given up on God at any given moment when that happened. But it was the faith that my dad had in him that kept me going. And when I lost my uncle last year, same thing. Two very special people who, in the midst of their pain or hurt or whatever they were dealing with, they still loved God, and and God still took care of them. And they're in a better place. So while we are here, we just need to look to God as our light. And I promise you things will get better. It just takes time, it takes patience, and it takes faith. So I'm going to leave off with a prayer, if you don't mind. And then we'll end it here, okay? Dear Father, please lead us in the way that we should go. Make it clear to us that you are with us by giving light to our paths. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Let me know. Let me know if you guys like this. Leave a like, comment down below. Please be respectful. If you plan on just being mean, then I don't want to talk. I don't want you to comment. This is just merely to be open and maybe start a conversation. If so let me know. I think this will be good. If this is touched up a little bit with what you're dealing with right now, or encouraging, leave a like, comment. Yeah. And again, I apologize for not uploading lately, but I really am going to just start uploading occasionally, and I happen to be off today. I don't normally get off, but we got a sale coming up this weekend for the thrift store, and so because of that, working Saturday, I got Monday off, which is nice. So pretty cool. Just hanging out and go in the gym in a little bit, work out a little bit. Right now I'm playing some PS4, WWE 2K22, and I'm just kind of relaxing and de-stressing because, yeah, yeah, and there has been some changes. There's been some things that I want to open up about. Before I go, and I said I was going to end off after the prayer, but I haven't talked to you guys in a while, and you guys haven't heard from me, so I figured it's fair. So there's been some changes. One thing is that about a little over a month ago, why did I take my hat off? I look terrible right now. My Aspen, if you know Aspen, you've seen her appear in some videos, more of the car wash videos, but occasionally just pops up her head in some of these videos. And she unfortunately had bitten my mom on the side of the face here. And it left quite the scar. she's doing better now. My mom is doing way better now, but she's still on wanting to find a new home for her. So we're working on doing that. A lot of places are not wanting her just because of the history now. But we'll see. I hope that maybe we need to change some things up so that she can be better about. But of course, ultimately my mom just doesn't want her anymore. But I might train her into behavioral stuff, so we'll see if that works. And if that works, then hey, we'll try to keep her for now, and later down the line, once my mom gets even older, we'll look to get rid of her for sure. But it's just been a crazy month and a half since we talked. And then there's my messy hair again. There's been some changes. Denver took Russell. Russell is playing for Denver Broncos now. And he was, I will be honest, I mean, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I've been a Seattle fan for a long time. Since Matt Hasselbeck and you know, and but it was Russell Wilson that really got me into the Seahawks because of his leadership and how he was just a motivator, and he's very for the people, or at least he was. He still kind of is. I think the fame has gotten to him a little bit, but so I'm still interested in seeing how the Seahawks will work this year. I'm still a fan of the Seahawks, but I'm more of a Russell Wilson fan because of his demeanor, his leadership, his faith, his like how he is with outside football. He's just a good guy for the most part, and Denver's gonna there's gonna be some changes with Denver with him being on there, so I'm looking forward to it. Plus, Denver was my dad's team, so yeah, I wish you were here, Dad. I know he'd probably be happy and kind of laughing at me because that Super Bowl game with the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks, it was a very quiet game between Dad and I. I didn't know what to say. I was happy, but I was like, I thought it was going to be a better game. And so it was a very quiet game. But anyways, yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know if you guys really did enjoy these devotions, and maybe I'll do that every once in a while. But I got a challenge this weekend, that Saturday maybe. Oh no, not Saturday because I'm working. Sunday, Michelle and I will do a challenge again. You guys have heard of the hot Cheeto Flamin' Hot macaroni? So Michelle got that, and then I got ramen noodle with the spicy hot chili or whatever it is. So we'll see who has the crazier reaction. I already know it's going to be me, but who knows? So, yeah, if you guys want to see that, leave a like on this video too. And I'm just going to go now, leave you alone. Eat these. Drink this. And just chill for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember to live the moment, never fear change, and keep the faith. Kyle Louie out.